Are visions of lazy, video game addicted, junk food eating kids haunting you? Do you hope your kids will one day love reading as much as, or maybe even more than, they love their technology? My friend, you're not alone. If we haven't met, I'm Kim with Not Consumed Ministries. We help families grow in faith so they can live not consumed by life. I've been teaching for 30 plus years, with more than 20 of that in my own homeschool. I find that when my kids have free time, sometimes they need a little encouragement to do something besides playing video games, watching TV, or eating all the chips. Can you relate? Today I'm going to share with you 11 tips on how to inspire a love of reading in your kids, or at least to inspire them to put down the video games a little bit more often. Sound good? When my kids were little, I really wanted them to love reading, just like you. I got 2 out of 4, so I suppose that's not too bad, right? It's not. Here's the thing. Sometimes kids like other subjects better, and that's totally okay. God created us with different bents, strengths, likes, and dislikes. But whether you like the subject or not, reading is an integral part of everyday life. So today I'm going to show you exactly how to weave reading throughout your day in ways that feel natural and fun. These aren't complicated systems. They're just simple strategies that real homeschool families use every day. I've also got a free printable for you. So let's dig in. Number 1, be an example. Yep, we have to start there. One of the most effective things we can do is let our children see us reading. I love to read, and my kids know it. They see me reading my Bible, enjoying a good nonfiction book, or reading through articles online. They've also listened to countless hours of audiobooks in the car with me. When reading is a normal part of your life, it naturally becomes a part of your children's lives too. When my kids were little, they would find me reading my Bible and they'd curl up next to me with their own books. Not because I asked them to, but because they were following my example. When they see me get excited about a new book or share interesting facts from an article, it sparks their curiosity. And now as adults, I catch them listening to audiobooks almost every time they drive or take a shower or even do chores. So let's make this practical. For younger kids, think about simple ways to let them catch you reading. Keep a book on the nightstand. Read while they play nearby, or point out moments when you're reading for a purpose, like following a recipe or researching a topic they might be interested in. With older kids, engage them in what you're reading. Share interesting facts or stories at dinner. Ask their opinions about plot twists. Recommend books you think they might enjoy, and let them see you reading for both pleasure and for learning. Number 2, read aloud to your kids. Reading aloud is the single most effective method of growing successful readers. This should start at birth and keep going as long as you live under one roof. Actually, we even did a book study together on vacation once that included some reading aloud. Not only is it great for learning strong literacy skills, but it also builds an incredible family bond. That's a win-win. So let's break it down. For little ones ages 2 to 5, read short picture books during breakfast, story time before nap, or bedtime stories, even when you're tired. Even water-safe books in the bath can be a great opportunity for reading. When your children reach elementary age, around say 6 to 10, you can move into chapter books during lunch, family read-alouds after dinner, or poetry during morning time. Taking turns reading pages together can be especially engaging at this age. When my kids were little, lunchtime read-alouds became a sacred and beloved time for us. We started when my oldest was just about 5 years old, with reading simple chapter books like, say, Charlotte's Web. With kids of different ages and interests, I choose a variety of things to read, from missionary biographies to sword-fighting allegories like the Kingdom series by Chuck Black. As your kids get older, you can read the same book together and discuss it, or you can share articles or blog posts, or just dive deeper into discussions about themes in books. Now, our next strategy is a little sneaky, kind of like sneaking vegetables into dinner when your kids don't know it. Shh. Number 3, find natural reading moments. There are so many small pockets of time that we overlook. These are perfect for sneaking in some reading. In your morning time, you might start with a poem or a short devotional. Share an interesting fact of the day, or read about historical events that happened on this date. These little moments add up to create a rich reading environment. We've enjoyed using Faithopedia during our morning time to help us accomplish this, while also laying a solid foundation for apologetics. We also use a lot of Bible studies. Now, transitions are another good time to sneak in some reading. You know those moments when someone needs help, but you're working with another child? Keep books easily accessible for these moments. Have your waiting child grab a quick read. Even bathroom breaks can become reading opportunities if you keep appropriate books nearby. I'd say this next one is a little sneaky too, because kids are still getting great literacy skills, but they don't realize it because they aren't holding the book. Number 4, use audiobooks. Audiobooks will take the frustration out of your afternoon quiet time, I promise. For younger kids, like age 4 to 7, we play audiobooks during quiet time every day. This is a great transition from nap time, but still gives mom some downtime to take care of things. We also use audiobooks while they're working on simple puzzles or coloring. Even short car trips can be great for story time. Elementary age kids can also enjoy audiobooks during art projects or while doing simple chores. Those longer car rides, perfect for diving into a good story together. Our family has listened to countless hours of books on car rides while heading to homeschool conventions. It's now a fond memory. My struggling reader discovered her love for stories through audiobooks during art time. She listened to entire novels while working on projects. She's now an adult and works professionally at a theater. She still listens to audiobooks while creating puppets for the next show or ventilating beards for a Narnian creature. It's pretty cool. Number 5. Create fun and comfortable reading spaces. If you make a space fun, even the reluctant reader is going to jump in. And you might be surprised how much different comfort makes when it comes to how long a kid's going to read. Try setting up a small tent with pillows or a reading corner with their favorite stuffed animals. Child-sized chairs or cushions near a window is pretty inviting as well. Kids often enjoy having their own special reading nooks too. It might be a beanbag corner or a window seat with good lighting. I met a child once who read most of his books up in a tree in his backyard, and I knew one who loved his hammock. One of my children claimed a corner of the living room as their reading spot, which was just a comfortable chair and good lighting, but it became their special place. You don't have to create elaborate spaces. Even a special pillow designated for reading time can make it feel more inviting. Speaking of making things more inviting, number 6, connect reading to their interests. When my daughter was obsessed with horses, she devoured everything from horse care guides to Black Beauty. I worried that she would never read anything other than horse books again, and I worried that it might hurt her, but I was very wrong. Her reading skills soared because she was so engaged with the subject matter. Just let your kids pick out the things that they love. When they're interested in a topic, they're going to want to pursue that topic, and that means they're going to want to read what the book says. Sometimes there are things we read because we need to, and there's a place for that, but I'd advocate that most of your child's reading should be by their choice. For our animal lovers, we might explore field guides or veterinary books or stories about animals. For STEM enthusiasts, they might dive into science experiments, coding tutorials, or even engineering magazines. Creative children often enjoy art instruction books, craft tutorials, or stories about other artists. One of my daughters read makeup books. No, not the kind of makeup you'd think either. She read about special effects makeup like old age looks, burns, and scars. Today, she's a professional makeup artist for that theater and film company. Isn't that cool? You never know where it's going to lead when you just let your kids explore their interests. Besides, I truly believe forcing kids to read things they aren't interested in is one of the fastest ways to make reading a boring chore that no one wants to do. Letting them pick will excite them and set the stage to fall in love with books and learning. Number 7, build reading into life skills. Reading becomes even more meaningful when it connects to life skills. In the kitchen, we naturally read recipes, make shopping lists, or look at substitutions together. When we're working in the garden, we read seed packets, growing guides, and learn to identify plants. Even hobbies create natural reading opportunities, whether it's game instructions, building materials, or craft tutorials. Don't discount this kind of reading. It's natural and it's very valuable. Number 8, make reading social. Reading doesn't have to be a solitary activity. In our house, we love having reading time together when everyone reads their own books. We share favorite passages, discuss interesting facts, and ask questions about each other's books. It's amazing how these simple discussions spark curiosity and encourage more reading. Consider partner reading too. Siblings can read together by taking turns or by reading to one another. One thing my kids always loved was reading to a stuffed animal. My youngest even started reading to the dog, and surprisingly, the dog seemed to enjoy it too. Another idea would be to trade books with friends or to start a mini book club. This can make it feel more like a fun social activity than a school assignment. You can also try group reading activities, act out stories together, have family book discussions, or host reading picnics with friends. These social connections make reading more engaging and memorable. Number 9, keep books accessible. You know the saying, out of sight, out of mind, right? Well, it applies to books too. Keep baskets of books where the kids naturally gather. Put them on bookshelves in the living room or the bedrooms or a small collection in the bathroom. We even often had a book box on the kitchen table. Don't forget about books on the go either. We always had a book bag in the car, and I kept a few books in my purse for those unexpected waiting times, especially when the kids were little. Here's a tip that worked well for us. Rotate your books seasonally. Keep those books that are of interest easily accessible, and create themed baskets that align with what you're learning or celebrating. I've also done a book box for each day of the week and rotated books in and out that way. Just mix it up and have fun. That's our next tip. Number 10, mix up your reading routine. Mixing up your reading routine keeps things fresh and exciting. For young readers, you might read with puppets one day, use funny voices the next, or act out stories together. Movement can make reading more engaging too. Who says you can't read while spinning in a chair or bouncing on an exercise ball? Older students often enjoy changing locations, maybe reading outside one day, in a cozy corner the next. We switch between silent reading and reading out loud, and we mix fiction and nonfiction. All of these things just keep it interesting. All right, now for that free printable I promised. Number 11, the reading bingo. Every now and then, I like to gamify things, and this does the trick. The reading bingo encourages kids to read by challenging them to do things in different ways or in different genres. For example, there are spaces to read on a swing, read a silly book, read to a pet, read a classic book, read on a Friday, and read a nonfiction book. The goal is to mix things up while encouraging kids to read. Sometimes I offer prizes when the bingo card is completed. It's a win-win. You can download the printable bingo card for free. You can also just use this idea and fill in bingo squares with your own ideas. Phew, okay, that was a lot of ideas. Remember, friends, the goal isn't to implement everything at once. Start with 1 or 2 ideas that resonate with your family. The key is making reading feel natural and enjoyable, not forced and structured. If these ideas have helped you, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with another homeschool family who might need the encouragement. If your child is a struggling reader, I'll link that video on the screen now, as well as a video on getting outside of the traditional curriculum box. What are your favorite ways to incorporate reading into your homeschool day? I know other homeschool families would love to see your tips too, so comment below. All right, keep making reading awesome. You're doing great. I'll see you next time.